Now, Dad's cousin owned a junkyard, and Dad helped take care of it. And for that, we got free rent where we lived at. And I never will forget when they was going to tear it down. After I think Uncle Ivan sold it to somebody, I don't know. And they tore it all down. That's been many years ago. It's actually even further from the road than it was when we lived there. When we lived there, it was right by the road, but the road wasn't. They made it more higher up highway. The road that was there when we were there back in the 70s was definitely covered by the new one. But anyway, it was so close to the road at times. The fence around it was stupid, okay? We'd get up some morning and the fence would be just laying down in the yard and you had to go out there and put it back up. I think they finally fixed it by enforcing it, but anyway. We had like a canning room off from Mom and them's bedroom, and the dog had a barrel in there. It'd been cut open so he could lay in it and sleep. That was his sleepy barrel. And he knew where his bed was. He went right there at night and go to bed. But Mom was wondering, where is Spot? My towels are staying in. And Mom knew if Spot was in the house, he'd get in her towels and take them back in his barrel and put them. Well, somebody was walking through the junkyard one day, and they looked in a car, and there was Spot in the middle of summer too. And he was pretty dehydrated and everything, so they broke the window out of the car, and we figured what it was Spot. I'm thinking he may have had like a trap door that he could get outside if he had to go to the bathroom. I can't remember really. But anyway, the house wasn't really put together all that well either. I mean, from what I remember of it, I don't really remember. All I can remember is where the bathroom was and what the porch and the front yard looked like. Inside the house, it was just, it was run down actually, but it was home. Those kind of homes were more home to me than any of the places that we lived at, where I've lived here. All the places with Mom and Dad was home, The place where I'm at now, God has made this a home for me and Jason and our fur babies. This is a home for us. It's like you gotta, you gotta. These places were run down. And back then, I wish we had a prettier place. But you know what? Now I'm glad we had those rundown places. I mean, you may think, why would you want a rundown home? Because honestly, that was home. It may have been run down. It may have been the ugliest house in the whole place. But you know what? It was home. It was where we felt home. It is. It's where we felt home. It was our home. And you know what? Our real home we haven't even seen yet. And I can honestly say I've been homesick for a home I've never seen. Because this place is just getting so evil and wicked. Yeah. Yeah. It's... sorry, guys. I had to get my hair out of my head. I had to get my hair out from behind my neck. Anyway, if we think back to our childhood, if you were like me, if you were one of these kids that had everything handed to you on a silver platter, then that was the kind of home you growed up in. More than likely, you were depressed, or you were just totally, run down because you had everything. There was nothing to look for or hope for. Hold on a minute. The thing of it is, you know, you had everything you wanted. There was nothing to hope for, nothing to wish for. You know, as a child, every child has wishes. Ours was basically, with us, it was some kids' toys we liked to had something like it, and we did get some things before they even did. But what we got was found, and it was old, and they would get brand new because, you know, their parents made pretty good money. Our parents made enough to get by, and you know what? Looking back, I thank God it was like that. I'm glad we didn't have everything we ever wanted. Because, you know, every person you see, seriously, that has everything they've ever wanted, they're spoiled rotten. They are rotten. They are arrogant, boastful, and all. You know, and I'm just glad that God gave us the life we had. I mean, honestly, I honestly like the fact that we had very little, but we were happy. We smiled, we laughed. We watched TV together, we laughed. Mom and Dad didn't allow nothing too vulgar on the TV when we were kids. You know, I mean, there's some things that we did that I wish we never had, like things we'd watched that I wish we didn't. But that's all a part of life that you got to look back and say, well, at least, you know, we're not doing that anymore. But my mom and dad were the kind of parents that they loved us. They did. They didn't have to say it because we knew it. But it was one thing that we'd like to hear more. I would like to have heard more of. Right before my dad died, probably within a day or so of it. I can't remember the time period there. But it was right before. It may have been the day before. He got me up and was yelling at me because my cousin left the TV on. She was going across the road to catch the bus to go to work. She was staying there, supposedly helping, but technically I don't think she was helping at all. Really, I don't. So anyway, she was staying there, and then she ended up moving in there after Dad and them left, and then I moved out, and shortly after that Jason moved out, and then shortly after that they lost the house. Wanted me to take it when they got it all up in where there was more money owed. Then I just couldn't do it. I said, no, I can't do that. And I wasn't going to do it because, but you know, actually I probably could have done it because the house payments were only $237 a month. Now we're talking in 2001, not now. And they could have added maybe like 100 more on there. It'd have been long caught up by now, but I really didn't want the house. I didn't. It needed a lot of work on it. And my brother, he done a lot more destroying to it too. But he had got a hold of me and told me if I wanted anything out of the house to come and get it because the bank was going to take it. So I went up there and I looked. And I went in and I got my curtains off Mom's window because I wanted her curtains. I got some stuff out of it. I mean, I packed a car full. The car had insurance on it and tags, but it didn't have an inspection sticker. So driving it at night was a better thing for me. And I remember running into this boy that I babysatted when he was younger. And his mother had thrown him out, which at the time, I don't know what he was doing. You know, I mean, I don't know what he was doing. But he got kicked out, so I gave him a place to stay. She made the accusation about the life I was in. Are you going to stay with that? You know what? And he said, yeah, I am. And I wanted so much to go back to her and say, you know what? It was okay when I was babysitting your kids so you could go out partying with your husband now. But you want to call me names and treat me like a piece of dirt? Woman, you don't even want to start with me. That would have been the kind of attitude I would have. Now I look back and I think, you know, she was right, I was. And thinking back, I think I really like the idea that people said stuff like that. So it made me even know more when God pulled me out that wasn't where I was meant to be, you know. I wasn't meant to be in a life of being in same-sex partners. No, that was not God's plan for me. And I will tell you, too, through all of this stuff, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you can't even begin to know. And there's a lot of things in my life it comes to me like in bouts. It's like I remember something, then, I remember something else. And if I'm telling something, I'll remember something that happened at the same time that goes with it, that finishes out that era or that part. But I took him and I let him stay with me for a little while. Heck, I think he stayed with me until I moved to Chesapeake. And I didn't take him in at Chesapeake. It may have been before then. I can't remember that he left. But anyway, I digressed. Let's just say I helped him out because I didn't want to see him homeless. The kid would eat canned vegetables right out of the can. I got up one day and he was sitting there eating a can of green beans. And I was like, why don't you heat them up? He said, I like them like this. I'm like, oh, okay then. I guess they're good anyway. But I literally like mine cooked somewhat with, good stuff and everything. When you think about all this stuff that's happening right now, and then I get up this morning and I get a song that reminds me, basically get on board, bring as many as you can with you by witnessing, by showing them the love of God through your actions and your abilities to do, or letting God do things through you to show them His love, letting His light shine through you to shine on them, that they would know. And if they run away from it, they never talk to you, then you know what? They've been turned over to a reprobate mind. They truly believe what they're doing is right. They truly think that we're a bunch of crazies. We're the enemy and all that stuff. And we look at them and we could say, well, they're the ones that's crazy, but they're not crazy. None of them are crazy. They're just let's put it mildly, okay? They're just working the deed of the enemy. He's got them brainwashed thinking that what they are is what they are. But what they're doing and how they're living and what they're living in, the lifestyles or whatever, is not of God. But they don't want to hear about God. They don't want to hear about Jesus. I'm sorry, but I am so glad. I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry that they don't want to hear, Because when I think about Jesus, I think about the fact that He came. The Father sent the Son, the only begotten Son, to earth to be a payment for sins of all the earth, humans in the earth, mankind. You got preachers out there that are preaching their little gods, little g's. Well, you know what the little g God means? It's not a God. It means it's evil. That's someone, like the devil is the runner of this earth. He's the God of this earth, okay? Those who follow him. And Lord, if I'm wrong for saying that, please forgive me. I just don't feel right saying God when it comes to the devil, because he's not. He is demonic. And you know why he's doing what he's doing. Everybody thinks he's going to be in control of hell. And if he was, do you really think he's going to let you have the fun you think you're going to have? No. He's like that person that's creeping around outside your house trying to kidnap somebody then take him and brutally beat them and treat them badly and then kill them. That is what he is. He is an enemy. And he's giving you everything to think that, that looks fun, let's go do it. And it's not fun. It's leading you more closer to hell and further away from God. You need to wake up. You need to smell the coffee that's brewing in the kitchen and think about what your life is. If you're sitting there at your coffee table or at your dinner table or wherever, like recliner like I am or whatever, drinking your coffee or drinking your pop or drinking whatever you're drinking. I don't suggest any alcohol drinks, but if you're sitting there doing that, you need to wake up and realize something. You need to wake up and realize that your life is not pleasing to God. You think you're doing good because you got the money, you're making money, you got all this, all that. You can get whatever you want. Materialistic things only last here on earth. But everything on this earth is going to burn to ashes. It's only the heavenly things that God had for us that will be for eternally eternal. And those things will not be destroyed or made bad. Really, it's not. Those things are going to be eternal. They're always going to be there. They're always going to be in a good condition. They will. I am going to turn this around right here because I want to unplug this stupid phone for now. I'm tired of hearing it. Turn around here, you dummy. I'm going to unplug you because I don't want to hear you anymore. There we go. Now we'll put it over here. That way when they call, they are going to get through to me because I'm not in the mood, you see. Okay, I just unplugged the phone. There's the cord. You'll see the cord going right there. I'm tired of these telemarketers. Really, I am. So I'm not going to put up with it today. Now, sorry about that. I know it looked funny, but I had to swallow my coffee, and I wanted to make a funny face. Remember that song? Funny face, I need you. Oh, funny face, I love you. I think it was Tanya Tucker that sung that, but I can't remember. Don't mark my word on that because it could have been Emmylou Harris or any of them. But anyhow, getting back to what I was saying. The only kind of music I listen to now is gospel when I listen to music because now I do like the old country, like, Emmylou Harris and Barbara Mandrell and the old Reba McEntire and Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers and Roasters and Chicken and stuff. And oh man, that's Kenny Rogers Roasters. Sorry. I probably made some of y'all hungry, didn't I? Go down to, I really don't know any place you could go. It's good. They say that Popeyes is evil. I don't know. It could be, someone making up lies, but I mean, I don't know. They say that there's demonic presence in that company. I don't know. I've never ate at it. Never been by it, and I won't because they deep fry, and I don't eat deep fried food. Unless they deep fry it in extra virgin olive oil. And people are they're ain't going to pay that much for olive oil. Because that'd be pretty expensive. Don't ask me what I say when I was just doing mumbling. But that personally is like a... I don't know. I just heard, I can't even think of what it was to say, but I did hear it had some kind of demonic presence in it. And even in like their advertisement, even their menu board, I don't know any of it. I just know I heard about it. So you can look it up on YouTube. Just say Popeye's chicken demonic, or Popeye's chicken, is it demonic? And it'll bring up anything that talks about them. And I've heard that, KFC, no, not from what I've seen would I ever eat at KFC again. I mean, maybe their mashed potatoes and their corn and their gravy, and their biscuits. That might be kind of good. I don't know. I mean, I do love their biscuits and their mashed potatoes and gravy. I mean, look. Hello. Okay, let me show you here. Look up, baby. We're gonna let them see you. We're gonna let them see you today. There you are. Say hello, everybody. Say I'm crook-headed and cross-headed because I'm tired. Aren't you, baby? You are. You're tired. Well, you go ahead and lay down. She is literally wiped out. I mean, literally, she is wiped out. I pick her up and she's like this. Like I am when I'm trying to fall asleep on the camera. There you go. On the video. She ain't wanting to. She is falling asleep. She's been asleep. You know, last night I have to say thank God that I actually got to sleep in my bed comfortably. The only weird thing is when I got up this morning, my dog was at my back and my cat was at my feet. My big cat, big boy, Oliver. That cat is getting close to me. I mean, he is really, really, really close to me, more than he ever has been, okay? And I'm okay with that because, you know, I love my fur babies. I love my fur babies. I thank God for every one of them, all three of them, and my brother in there. You know, be thankful for what you have and treat it and respect it. Don't abuse anything. Don't even abuse a chair you have. Respect it. It lasts you longer. I mean, if someone comes in after you're gone and abuses it, well, let them, you know, because it doesn't matter. We're not going to be here to see it. We don't care. And that is coming very soon. It really is. That the rapture is going to occur. I'm going to tell you something, okay? When I thought of that this morning as I was getting up and I felt, you know, need to warn, we need to comfort, we need to encourage the brothers and sisters. If we know false converts, we need to warn them. You know, there's a lot of people that's going to like James Brown, Joyce Myers. I was going to say Joyce Myers, but James Brown come to my mind. There ain't much difference in them, except she's white and he's black. I mean, there's no difference in them. He done, everybody thought he was a good singer, but he also was, I don't know much about him, so I'm not really going to say anything. He done a good job for what he done, but Joyce Myers is not. Joyce Myers is a wicked, evil imp. She's a meme that's being controlled by Satan. I plead the blood of Jesus over this. And she continues to lie and continues to swindle money from people. I heard her say one thing, and honestly, that's all I had to hear. Well, I mean, I got out of listening to her a long time ago, but one time I was listening to her, and they asked her, do you ever worry about someone who is in like a urgent, the condition where they can't pay their rent or anything? And they say, well, I can't pay my rent, but I'm going to give this to Joyce Myers, and they can't pay their rent. Do you ever worry about them? And she responded with, well, no, I really don't. What does that tell you about her? She's telling the truth on TV. That's the only truth she ever tells. That she don't care. Any true child of God would wonder, would worry. You know, I have a friend that wants to help me out and get me where I need to be. And she feels good that she can spend stuff in here. But I also want to help her when I can too. But she won't let me. And if I say I don't want something, then she gets mad.